Hello everyone. This chapter is our first chapter of chemistry, chemical reactions and equations. Actually, this chapter is divided into two parts. Number one, chemical reactions, and number two, chemical equations. In our day-to-day life, we come across different type of changes. For example, rusting of iron, burning of paper, fermentation of grapes, digestion of food, etc. In this chapter, we will be able to understand these different type of changes. So, let us start this chapter. In class 7th, we have studied about two different type of changes, physical change and chemical change. In physical change, no new substance is formed. In chemical change, there is formation of new substances. Two pictures are there. Cutting of wood is physical change, whereas burning of wood is chemical change. Therefore, chemical change involved chemical reaction. The important characteristic of chemical reaction are evolution of gas, formation of a precipitate, meaning formation of insoluble substance, change in temperature, change in color, change in state. These are different observations seen during a chemical reaction. Now let us see what is chemical equation. The symbolic representation of any chemical reaction is known as chemical equation. There are two different types of chemical equation: balanced chemical equation, unbalanced chemical equation. I have written one equation. Magnesium, when reacts with oxygen, gives magnesium oxide. Here two sides are there. Left hand side is reactants, whereas right hand side is known as product. In a balanced chemical equation, the number of atoms of each element remains the same before and after a chemical reaction. Left hand side, reactant, number of atoms, and right hand side product, the number of atoms will be same. Balancing of chemical equation, different steps are there. Step 1, to balance a chemical equation, first draw boxes around each formula. One equation is written, magnesium plus oxygen gives magnesium oxide. Do not change anything inside the boxes while balancing the equation. Now step 2, list the number of atoms of different elements present in the unbalanced equation. Magnesium and oxygen, two elements are there. Number of atoms in reactants, magnesium 1. Number of atoms in products, magnesium 1. Number of atoms in reactant for oxygen is 2. And number of atoms in product, 1. So we can say that this equation is not balanced equation. Now let us see how to make this equation as balanced equation. Step 3, equalize the number of atoms of different elements. Magnesium, now number of atoms in reactants is 2 and number of atoms in product is also 2. Oxygen 2 and product 2. So the balanced equation is now 2Mg plus O2 gives 2MgO. Both sides the number of atoms are equal. Another example is also given. Iron, when reacts with water in the form of steam, gives iron oxide and hydrogen. Here, number of atoms in reactant side and number of atoms in product side both are equal. So we can say that this equation is also balanced equation. Next part of this chapter is different types of chemical reactions. There are 5 different types of chemical reactions: combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, double displacement reaction, and oxidation and reduction reaction. In a combination reaction, 2 or more substances combine to form a new single substance. General formula is A plus B will give AB. One example is given. When calcium oxide reacts with water, there will be formation of calcium hydroxide. Decomposition reaction. In a decomposition reaction, a single substance decomposes to give 2 or more substances. AB decomposes in the presence of either heat, electricity, or sunlight and converted into 2 or more substances, that is A plus B. Types of decomposition reaction: thermal decomposition in the presence of heat. Example, calcium carbonate when heated decomposes into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas. Electrolysis in the presence of electricity. Water in the presence of electricity decomposes into hydrogen and oxygen. Photolysis, sunlight. Silver chloride in the presence of sunlight will be converted into silver and chlorine. Silver chloride is white salt. In the presence of sunlight, white color salt will be converted into gray color. Displacement reaction. When an element displaces another element from its compound, a displacement reaction occurs. General formula: A plus BC is converted into AB plus C. Here, more reactive element displaces least reactive element. Iron plus copper sulfate will be converted into iron sulfate and copper. Copper sulfate is blue colored solution. After 25 to 30 minutes, blue color solution is converted into greenish and there will be deposition of reddish brown color on iron nails. This reaction is showing displacement reaction. Double displacement reaction. 2 different atoms or groups of atoms, ions, are exchanged in double displacement reaction. AB plus CD will be converted into AC plus BD. Any reaction that produces a precipitate is known as precipitation reaction. So, double displacement reaction is also known as precipitate reaction. Sodium sulfate and barium chloride. These two are colorless solution. When we add 2 drops of barium chloride into sodium sulfate, white precipitate of barium sulfate will be formed. Barium sulfate is insoluble precipitate. So reaction: Na2SO4 plus BaCl2 will be converted into BaSO4 and sodium chloride, NaCl. Last type of reaction is oxidation and reduction reaction. Oxidation is addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen. It is also loss of electron. Burning of copper will be converted into CuO. Here Cu got oxidized. And next is reduction, that is removal of oxygen or addition of hydrogen, or we can also say gain of electron. CuO, when reacts with hydrogen, will be converted into Cu plus H2. Here Cu got reduced. When oxidation and reduction reaction take place simultaneously, the type of reaction is known as redox reaction. Exothermic reaction, the reaction in which heat is given out along with the product. Burning of carbon. The reaction in which heat energy is absorbed by the reactants is known as endothermic reaction. Nitrogen, when reacts with oxygen, the result will be formation of nitric oxide, is a type of endothermic. Rancidity, oxidation of fats and oils is known as rancidity. They become rancid and their smell and taste change. Two preventive, or we can say that different preventive measures are use of airtight containers, refrigeration, use of antioxidants, for example, nitrogen. When a metal is attacked by substances around it, such as moisture, acid, etc., the metal is said to be corroded, and this process is called corrosion. We know the different preventive methods used for corrosion. Common examples in our surroundings: reddish brown coating on iron, black coating on silver, green coating on copper. Two different pictures are there. Number 1 is showing preventive measures of rancidity, and number 2, rusting of iron. Thank you.